Hey everybody, this is Rosie on the Rosie O'Kelly channel. A very rare Thursday night. I usually reserve this night for going on to other people's panels, and I don't want to waste a lot of people's time on here. And I just want to say right off the bat, welcome to the people on the side chat. I'm going to keep the side chat going, but I'm going to expand my Google Plus Hangout window so I don't see it. Not that I'm being rude, but there'll probably be things that might distract me along the way. And I want to kind of get through because it's a story that requires a lot of continuity here. I'm not digging dirt. I'm not firing trash out here. I'm trying to give everybody an idea from whence everything came here on the channel. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't have any intention of, some people said, oh, kit and cat, you'll never change Marshall. I'm not trying to, I'm beyond that. But I wanted everybody to know, and I wanted Marshall to be able to see in a sort of vignette appearance just where we've come with all this nonsense. Hello, Drew and everybody. With all this nonsense that we've endured over the last year. And to me, it's been really tough because if you like your friends, I can put it right back to Marshall, as he said on his Hangout last night. If you like your friends, you defend them. Well, I'm going to paraphrase a response. If you like your friends, you don't put them in harm's way. And that's exactly what's happening here, is that people like Joshy, people like me, have been in the firing line for the last, have accelerated so much recently with all of this nonsense that Marshall wonders why his channel has become troll infested to the point where he's experiencing an inability to have a side chat going. And at the same time, an inability to have comments on channel. And let me tell you, for somebody that craves attention, and y'all know I enjoy attention, at least I'm honest about it, and turning off a side chat and not having comments on videos, how do you interact with people on that? And so this story tonight, I just want to flesh out because there's so many people that weren't here back in April and May of 2015 when I really got to first know Marshall. And Marshall, I'm taking my time to explain this tonight to walk you down memory lane so that you'll have an idea that it's not really us that's the problem. Okay, it's not your friends, but you're putting friends in the firing line and you're causing them to experience the mayhem to a smaller extent that you do. Thank you, everybody. So I want to get started on this. So my goal here on this is not to try to change behavior, but just to get you to understand the fallout that this has on other people within your so-called dream team. Now, there's some people that don't give a damn. They don't put up content. I mean, I like James, Roaming Anarchist. He says he's going to put up content. Maybe, maybe not. I like Gerald. Gerald does his thing. He comes and goes. But I'm here on a more or less daily basis, so it matters to me how things go. And Mallory, yes, you know me. I always have notes here because I want to be very explicit on this thing. This long ago, back in April when I first came into the community, one of the most interesting characters I met was a guy named, and this was the title of, this was his channel name, Elvis Nomadic Assyrian Van Dweller. Let me repeat that again. Elvis Nomadic Assyrian Van Dweller. Now, who can't help but be captivated by that channel name? Like, whoa, what is an Assyrian? I don't know, something I probably studied 30 years ago in school. So I started to watch and interact on these hangouts that he would have from Little Rock, Arkansas. And at that time, way back then, it was kind of more or less innocent fun and stuff. He would get on there and do the Ric Flair stuff. You know, the few trolls that were there, this was pre this stuff. I mean, if there were 8 or 9 people watching a hangout, it was a lot. And I mean, this was like Marshall cooking in Little Rock in the kitchen and all kinds of crazy stuff but it was fun stuff, right? But he, you know, the Ric Flair stuff was going on at that time. And the trolls were there for their own fun, and people had a good time. It's what I call level 1 trolling. You know, the kind that says you're a dick, but it's fun to watch that. But there was a taste of like disturbing things. You know, the whole incident about Dan Travels, and of course Dan Travels had a channel on YouTube that was devoted to living in a conversion van, taking basically a small cargo van and converting it into a place for he and his girlfriend to travel. I quite enjoyed the videos, but my first hint of trouble came when it came down to a ethnicity of, well, is he Romanian or Italian? And then a little after that, we got onto the whole incident about Drury and RV Debs. And back at that time, you know, when Marshall was able to come on to Drury's hangout, it always seemed to end with Marshall being kicked off of a panel on Drury's hangout, till it reached a point one night when attacking RV Debs on the panel, that Marshall was told you can't come back to the hangouts anymore. And he ended up insulting Drury, and basically he had to, I remember him sitting on the corner of his bed and apologizing to RV Debs and Drury in a video for his behavior. And I thought, oh, you know, that's cool. You know, he's got a heart and a soul, and I was very happy to see that. But one thing that Marshall was very adamant about at that time was no GoFundMes, no fundraising. He was very much with the Jimmy Rants school, and Aggie's here, and Aggie will bear me out. Aggie's been here long before I am, but adamant about GoFundMes and how they were really a bad thing, and these people were e-beggars, and Marshall really sided with Jimmy Rants in this. And of course, I had my fun. I did a spoof video of Nomadic Fanatics stew and blow shark stew, and you know, we had our fun, okay. But I was really impressed that Marshall seemed to be pretty much self-sufficient, and I like that. You know, he didn't ever ask for anything. So people that had GoFundMes were being berated for having them. So obviously there's been a sea change that occurred, and I really wanted to drill down on this in the hopes that Marshall will understand where his trolling problem comes from today. I mean, you cannot sit on a hangout and be baffled that you don't understand where these problems come from. Why are these trolls picking on me? Why is there so much evil in the community? But it's worse than that, Marshall, because it doesn't spill on just to you. It spills on to the people that you should care as friends about them too, and not just tell them, ignore it, turn it off. You know, we'll get to that. But you know, I found that, you know, Marshall had worked security, which is fine. He you know, I enjoyed his video that he put up. He had 1 or 2 videos up on his channel, Elvis Nomadic Assyrian Van Dweller, probably the longest channel name in the history of YouTube. But him on security patrol outside, rousting some people from the motel or the cars there and stuff. I mean, it was kind of fun stuff to see. And then he changed jobs. He had worked at a call center and then got unjustly terminated there, so he was able to collect unemployment. Well, you know, my friend Janet collected unemployment. She was summarily fired from Home Depot on Christmas Eve of 2011. You know, marched out the door. It happens. So so then, you know, I guess as the prospect of the insurance was running out, I figured I better hit the road. And it was on to Chicago. And we know that Marshall ended up living with his sister, Janet, who's actually a very nice person. I met Janet in person. I'm a friend of hers on Facebook. I think the world of her. She's dedicated to her bodybuilding and all that. And Marcia went to live with Janet and her boyfriend, which was cool. It was still okay. But the hangouts started to become lightning rods for incidents at that time. You know, and the very famous one with Jimmy Rance, what I'll do to your guys' wives and daughters and mothers and all that, leading up to the, you know, the verbal assault on Jimmy Rance. And I tried to make sense of this as to why this was so. And I didn't quite make the connection to WWE and being a bad guy. So that stuff came back then, and that's when level 2 trolling came about. Level 2 trolling is, we're not going to let you just say what you want. Now, for every action, there's going to be an equal and opposite reaction. Hence the title of the Hangout, Newton's third law of motion. If you exert a force, you're going to get a force back. So what actually started to happen was people started defending or defending the people that were being criticized on the Hangouts, defending their honor, whether it was RV Debs or somebody else that got insulted. It's only natural that some of these guys are going to take the bit in their mouth, and they're going to want to defend these people that won't or can't defend themselves. And you can call it the internet police, but it came to what I call level 2 trolling, where you get sent dozens of Granger catalogs in the mail to your house, you know, to your sister's apartment and stuff. And it's, you know, pizzas get delivered. This is the kind of stuff that it's not going to rock your world, but it's going to make you a real pain in the ass, and it's going to make you a pariah. So, you know, this was something that was cultivated, this response, this, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And that was the reaction to that. You know, while that's going on, I'm getting my ass handed to me for the GoFundMe things. You know, I honestly tried to be helpful. I ended up being stupid, you know, naive, but it was still a choice that people made to donate. Now, I learned my lesson. You got to do what you say you're going to do. If you have a GoFundMe, you got to do what you say you're going to do. And if you're a daily uploader, like Marshall is and I am, and if you choose to raise money, and if you choose to use a GoFundMe method to do it, there's going to be that daily window of visibility on your channel, so that people with, you don't even need a high degree of intellect, can look at that and assess that something's wrong with the equation already. The accountability. Now, people ragged on Amanda, but in truth of fact, Amanda had the highest daily, you know, it was a failure to follow through with getting a job. And that disappointed me to no end. And Amanda knows I'm straight up with her about that stuff. That was a failure to fire, to go get a job. But when it came to the GoFundMe, you know, the accounting, the tires, we knew what the tires cost, the rig, we knew what the rig cost. We paid for fuel. You know, I paid for fuel for her to get down to Florida and things like that. But she did what she said she was going to do, at least in terms of the GoFundMe. And you know, there was lessons learned from that whole thing. So suddenly Marshall gets turned out of Janet's place, you know, his sister's place in Chicago, and we come to the full-time living cycle that we're in now. You know, we have the crazy, well, before we went at the crazy hangouts with Vegas Vixen and me, and inappropriate behavior on hangouts. This is about when I decided that they're having an ICD-10 medical course for bringing in the new change in October and implementing that. I thought I could have that at several different sites. I'll just go out to Chicago, have it up, have a chance to meet Marshall. And boy, when I landed in Chicago, and the first person that texted me was Nicole. And Nicole is like, I hope to fuck that you know what you're doing, Rosie, because you're in a real high risk zone to be out there in Chicago and trying to affect change and something like that. Well, this is what happened to me eventually. So she messaged me, a couple people did, I hope you know what you're doing, but it went pretty well. I mean, the videos are there. I don't take anything down on my channel. So Tiny Elvis, you can go back and look at them yourself. I don't need any self-promotion. My channel is 20 times larger than Marshall's. I don't need any self-promotion. So there's no revisionism. All of my stuff is there to be seen. I just don't come on here and brag about it. I just passed 6 million views today. It's not top of mind for me. It's not why I'm on YouTube. But I met Janet in Chicago, and she was great. We went out there, had a good dinner with her. I met Mr. X, and Mr. X was a great guy. Mr. X was a wonderful. He let us use the Winged Bull headquarters to do the repair work on Marshall's video. I thought, this is paying it forward. You know, if I could be out here, and it was bitter cold in the wind and scraping that goo off the windows from that ceiling job that Marshall did. So, yeah, I felt like I was paying forward because I was a friend and I thought I could affect some change on that. And because of the change, I paid at that time because I got back from Chicago, and Jordan Blue, a week later, she messaged me and said, wow, the change in Marshall's been amazing. Well, it lasted 1 week, and then we were right back to the old cycle that was coming back again. You know, and everything, the bad moon was arising once again, and everything went to shit. Now, my point of this is, if my friendship means something to you, and the donations that I did make and the paying it forward, you would have stayed positive beyond 1 week. You would have buried that need to be a WWE star and said, well, you know, maybe I should try to turn the corner here and make other content on YouTube. Like I said, even Jordan Blue, who was no fan of yours, was messaged that she was happy about what she saw. Yeah, I admit it, Tiny Elvis. I was a sucker of the first order. Then the big change happened. The full time in the van began, which was cool. And unfortunately, at this point, this I think was hurtful that Marshall saw the money that was being raised by Amanda, was being raised by Warren, by Wayne, and on we went. We had a whole series of GoFundMes at that time, and with proper promotion and things, they achieved their aims, and people got the funds they needed to do what they wanted to do. And I think that urge of seeing like easy money maybe kicked in, and that urge to follow the herd sort of set in at that point. And the GoFundMe that was starting that, yeah, I had to write some notes here, Nicole. I want to keep it organized because I want to keep very much on the time frame and track here. So when the GoFundMe went up with Marshall, it was about upgrades for the Lisa Marie. What I'm doing here, Nicole, is I'm establishing why there can be no doubt as to why this trolling problem is so severe now that it's come to a point where you know, you have to disable comments and you have to turn off the side chat periodically, and then eliminate. So you know, the money gets raised. Well, I remember you had a hangout. What upgrades do you want me to do to the Lisa Marie? Do you remember that hangout? Solar, battery banks, and things like that. So the money got raised. I supported it. as did others. But unfortunately, I didn't see any upgrade forthcoming. Now, if you come to me as a neighbor and say, "I look at my roof up here," or "I really need to put a new roof on my house," and the bank won't approve me for a loan, and I lend you $4,000 to do that work, I don't expect a year later to see your house in even more disrepair, and then you tell me all the money raised for that purpose is gone. Now, how do you feel at that point? Are you happy? Are you unhappy? Do you feel like some of the guys do in this on YouTube? They feel like they want to pick up the club and the shield, and they want to go to battle here. They just don't think that there is such a thing as not having, the idea of not following through. Because think about what that does to the people that legitimately have needs for GoFundMe, the people that are legitimately fighting a disease that's publicly attached to things that are in the paper, and they're desperate to raise money, or their house burns down and they're desperate for help and they've lost everything. Well, we all have to sit back now, courtesy not just but of the GoFundMes, and say, well, that's probably bullshit. This is probably bullshit. That's probably bullshit. And you find yourself keeping your money in your pocket because you just have lost your ability to you've lost your ability to properly suss out what's true and what's not true. So the fact remains, if you wonder why people were angry at you, there was over $4,000 raised, and there wasn't an attempt to show how that money was spent. So I'm not trying to say that this behavior can or should be corrected. What I'm saying is, I want you to understand the basis of why there's so much anger out here towards what happened. I'm just trying to go down the roadmap again to just show you from where we've come from. Not to try to change, because I don't think that's going to ever happen, but just so you know how you grew this problem over time. So who started to feel the heat? I mean, Marshall's blessed with a very thick skin. The dumb donors, like me and other people that donated money. Joshy Bingham, we enjoyed the content. We didn't enjoy the haranguing and things like that, but it was fun to see in Key West, out at the places styling and profiling in Key West. It was very enjoyable video to see the tours of Deerfield Beach and Miami and those things that were free of haranguing. And I thought, yeah, this is great content. I'm enjoying, not every minute of the asphalt on the parking lot or the ocean waves or bouncing on the beach, but I'm just saying that's the reality. Yeah, Tiny Elvis, Dr. Janet's Munchausen, I certainly am dumb, and I'm putting it right out there. So we started to feel the heat because of all this stuff that was coming down with Amanda, and we started going off to Wayne, are you still at the park where you were going to be? So we became known as the enablers out here, and not that we did anything particularly wrong, but because we tried to help make lives better, so we thought it was a colossal failure, and that's the reality of it. It was a fail. Now, on top of this, you really started getting nasty with comments and stuff. And well, you got plenty back. Newton's third law of motion at work again. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's easy for people like, and I want to talk about Mr. X is a wonderful person. But it's very easy for a Mr. X or a Chris Diamond, the Colonel, to be supportive in the background, because they're not, Mr. X isn't coming on Hangouts and showing his face and isn't uploading content. And it's very easy to just take a backseat kind of role, like Chris Diamond. And so, understand that there's a big difference. People will say, well, why do you get upset about it? Because, we're in the crucible and there's people up on the sidelines that are right in the thick of things too. So we're this, so this is the price we pay for being a friend. you know, that we're putting the firing line on this. This is what I'm trying to make you understand, that no, we hit that at the beginning, Tiny Elvis, the stuff that went on in Chicago. So this is the price for being a friend. And this is what I want you to understand, Marshall, and I want to drill home to you. Your behavior reflects on people that try to do their best to change things or make things better. And what means more to you? Your friendship with us and the ability to turn off the nonsense and to turn off the rants and stop talking about somebody's son is autistic and somebody's son is baggage or something else. This is not called for, and this is the stuff that's brought in what I call the level 3 trolling, which is you go from yellow to orange to red. And this is the kind where people want to do damage to your life. And thank God I only had a tiny bit of that, but it's out there. And there's people that I've been on Hangouts with people that have said, you know, he said something about my wife and I'm not going to rest until X happens. This is no way to, you know, this is bad news. You've raised this crop of people that are hell-bent on really doing harm now, to the point where you've had to shut off the side chat and had to disable comments. Now you'll turn it on periodically because, like me, you know, you need that you thrive on that attention and stuff. So you like to have the feedback. You like to see what people are talking about and all that. But it's going to be harder and harder and harder to do that, I guarantee you, because as you said, and as Amanda rightly said, the trolls are always going to win, because you have people that have 500 accounts out there, and as fast as you delete them, they just fire up another one. And these people are masters at what they do. You're not going to shake them, you know. So I want you to understand it. If you cared about your friendship with me and others, then you would put us ahead of your desire to constantly be at war with the side chat and the panelists on other Hangouts. You know, you're all about that free speech, but you want to insult and engage in the back and forth. But look at where it's gotten you today. I mean, my Hangouts aren't the most scintillating in the world, but we spend so little time these days discussing you and the things that are going on in your world. The only time is, well, I'll get to that in a minute. You know, your friends take the blows for you, and we're just supposed to absorb that kind of thing. And your response is to be like you and just cut everyone off. I'm not on YouTube to cut people off. Okay, I'm on YouTube to be engaged with my friends who I love dearly. Now, you know, that's bullshit, just cutting people off. All that's been done for you by the so-called dream team, and not once have you given an inch to pay back, to pay it forward and change your behavior one iota. Why? Because it's all about Ric Flair and WWE, and your friends be damned. Anything for the show. I've tried to have you on panel time after time, but each time you come on, it devolves in no time at all to insults and trying to take over the Hangouts. If I'm blocked on side chat, which I tried to do before, you don't come and engage in the current conversation, i.e. respecting me, when you come in to pimp your own Hangout and tell people you're firing up a Hangout. Absolute disrespect to come in and do that. In other words, you don't care what's going on in my world. You know, you care about starting your Hangout and making sure everybody, hey, ham and eggers and all that. You know, you could make a positive contribution by coming on and maybe talking about something that other people want to talk about on the, you know, we don't get to discuss anything, and it's just pimping the channel. I'm so afraid this spiral is just going to continue. That's going on. For me, it took a legal intervention with Google and legal help 2 times to remove some of the misery of my family that came as a result of trying to be supportive and helpful to some people on YouTube. You're level 3 trolling now, okay? And the side chat's off, the comments off, and the pressure's building. And maybe you like it that way. I don't know. Do you even care what's happening out here to the people that are trying to hope that things get better? So now we come to a fork in the road, the high road versus the low road. You're at level 3 trolling now. Every direction you take now, these people are going to be up in your stuff. Does your friendship with me and others mean more to you than the bullshit WWE games that you play, the insults, the so-called freedom of speech? You pissed away an opportunity after your dad died, and God bless your dad, and God rest his dear soul, and God bless your mom. But I thought to myself, when you got your Assyrian God channel back, he's going to come on a changed person and come on that first hangout from the Kroger or whatever it was in there. And not 2 minutes into the hangout, you were the same old Marshall hurling in the same insults. And one thing's going to stick in my mind until the day I pass on, and that is when you came on to that, when MX420 was watching your hangout the first couple minutes, and he said, you know what, I'm just punching out, this is the same old. My expectation, you could have had anything at that point. You know, people would have felt that compassion and that sorrow, and to to rebuild yourself as a person, and that kind of person you talk about that your dad was. So the thing to remember is trolls just don't spontaneously drop out of the sky on the channels. They understand there's something real in there. And this is the thing that I don't think that you really fully understand. That trolling is just not a spontaneous event. It builds on itself. It builds on itself until it reaches a point where it's dangerous stuff potentially coming down. I've heard people say that they would love to execute you, sadly, and wouldn't care if they went to jail because they would get 3 meals a day. I mean, and other people that you said you made the mistake of saying something about my wife, and payback's a bitch. I'm just saying, this is dangerous ground that you're walking on now. Very dangerous ground. So I'm the one that really feels let down when you come in and you talk about my side chat and how we're boring. You don't have to come to the hangouts then. I enjoy Class B hangouts. I told you I'd come to a Class B hangouts. I don't want to come on ones where it's going to be haranguing people. I mean, it's not just us in the community. We've got Blacktop Boondocker. God knows what he did to deserve his fate. We've got that Francis. Francis has been nothing but a beautiful sister and a helpful person. And Nicole, you'll never know. You'll never have an inkling of. It seems so easy on the outside when you look at somebody like Nicole, and why can't you do this and why can't you do that? You've got no idea of the backstory there. You've got zero inkling. If you had gone through what she went through and lucky to get to the point that she did today, I doubt if you would have made it, to be honest. And Debbie Leonard Skinner, whatever you call her, I mean, these are people trying to do something with their lives. They're trying to make something of themselves. They're not out there every day with their hand out, asking for help when they're able-bodied here. And for me, I don't care if you ask for help, but if you're going to couple that with insults and going to war with people, you're going to be the ultimate loser in that, because there's people dedicated to taking your channel down and taking you down and doing definite physical harm to you. And I don't want to see that happen whatsoever. And I think that's a very dangerous thing. So we'll see what kind of friend you are. You're famous for looking at the camera and rubbing your hands and say, well, You were on Amanda's last night, bad mouthing me on your hangout again last night and trying to get me to change my behavior, which is quite civilized within my hangout. You know, start patrolling my side chat. It's like I'm at a point where I'm happier. I get a lot of people that criticize me. And I'm not going to turn off the side chat. And I've told Greg people can say whatever they want to say about me because, you know, whatever they're going to say is probably deserved, right? And if you try to cut it off, you're fooling yourself. So this is what I wanted to really cover with you guys tonight. Because, Marshall, like I said, I do care. I do care. And I just think you're treading on really thin ice with fat shoes. Right now, and you don't even know the forces that are out there conspiring against you, and the brain power that that is amassed. I mean, I tell you, I'm not speaking out of school here. I tell you, there's a guy I know, D.W. Red. There's a few guys I really know that I have a lot of respect for. And I was very concerned when D.W. Red stopped by one time and said, you know what, Marshall said something about my wife, and well, I'm going to have the last word to say about that. I mean, you know, this is serious stuff. I mean, when people are insulted like that, or blacktop boondocker with a wonderful girlfriend, a beautiful rig, a great looking boy going around and living the life. I mean, this is what RVing is supposed to be about. You know, this is what RVing is supposed to be at, having this fun. Not talking about that people's physical features, and it's so, you know, change the behavior. So, all right, I'm going to watch, concentrate on the side chat. Hi, Jeff. We got Ellie out here. Yeah, Dr. Janice. Yeah, we all have our negative side, but I just thought D.W. Red was a frightening kind of thing. And, you know, Bodhi, I take my lumps, but I'm one that tries to change things. Hi, Salty. Well, I just do this so Marshall understands. I was very concerned on the hangout last night that there seemed to be this disconnect of not understanding why there's this, quote, evil. Newton's third law of motion: for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And if you think that you can just hurl something into cyberspace and not get an equivalent reaction in the opposite direction, you're wrong. And while 90% of the people, 95% of the people are wonderful people and they never do anything harmful. I mean, there's great trolls. There's, you know, there's the toothless bulldogs and people like that they tweak you and try to modify your behavior, but they're not going to, you know, they're not going to rock your world. But believe me, there's ones out there that will rock your world. So, no, you haven't, Bodhi, and you've been very honest. And I've always, like Bodhi said, I've never made it personal. You've been honest. You have been honest, and I've been honest. I've said I've donated money to Marshall, and I just think it's time now to see how you care about your friends that are on the firing line. Like I said, the ones that aren't front and center every day. It's easy to be in the background and just you know, not be front and center. You know, I'll start issuing an invitation to Mr. X to see if he wants to come on the Hangouts, or Chris Diamond to see if he can tear himself away from his mom when she's put down for the night, sleeping and resting in Florida. I mean, these are good people, but they're not, you know, they're not paying the price that that we are on here. So, yeah. So that's that. So if there's anything else, I just wanted to put that out there tonight. And ask you and just tell you from the bottom of my heart, hey, T-Town, that it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Yeah, like Booger Ball said, no one can hide. Some trolls know all. Yeah, some trolls pay for reports. I mean, in somebody asked me on like Sonny's chat one time that have you ever been arrested for anything at all? And I thought to myself, damn, you know, somebody pulled my whole record, you know. And of course, in 1990 or whatever, was pulled over and was arrested and did spend the night in jail for a suspected DUI. The case was thrown out of court. And drinking, I just happened to be in the car, but they had actually paid to get that information. Jan says, Rosie, by going on Class B hangouts, rewarding him his behavior. I'm not trying to improve his behavior, Janice. Hi, Melanie. Go back and watch the beginning of the hangout, and you'll see that that's the whole point of that. So yeah, I'm not trying to change things. Hey, Elvis's messy diaper. So there it is. So we'll see what your behavior is towards your friends and how you stand up for your friends, like your friends have taken the heat for you. So I'm going to enjoy talking about that Class B camper vans. That's something I have a passion for. But I'm not going to allow to come into my hangout and steer it towards pimping your hangouts and all that. It's very disingenuous, and it's very disrespectful. Disrespectful to people that you're supposed to care about, that amazingly paid it forward to you in your life. So somebody said Narse. At least Narse's on the road. You know, he's trying to put his life together. Band vibes. Yeah, it wasn't fun being arrested. I'll tell you that. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun spending a night in jail too. But that's the way it goes. So, you know, the system works. But you know, I don't need all the nonsense in my life. All the, you know, I mean, it was like Tuesday. It's like the Sicilian Queen is back. All hail the Queen, and all happy. And I missed you back. And then I click on today, and I'm watching. I'm like, what the hell happened? You know, all of a sudden it's you know, persona non grata and stuff. I mean, this is just strange. Thank you, T-Town. Hey, Teddy. Teddy long and ass. So I am going to try to head over to Blacktop Boondock. I'm going to keep this going for about another 20 minutes or so. Yeah, I hope Marshall's watching, because I care about his safety. I care about him standing up for us and not telling us to modify our behavior all the time. But the easiest thing in the world to you, hi Smooth, the easiest thing in the world for you to do is to modify your behavior. And you know, you know, if I thought you teased a little last night and said I may not do rant videos, and I might just do more cooking and more things like, yeah, you know, and be prepared if you don't have a shirt on and you blow your nose into your shirt. People are going to have a feedback about that type of behavior. So it shouldn't, you know, it shouldn't come as a surprise to you. Hey, Elvis, Assyrian God, Arthur, nice to see you. So, yeah. Yeah, that's right, Chief. Everybody turns. It's like nomadic fanatic. I'm turning off my comments. Of course, they're going to turn them on. I mean, we're attention whores, so we like the feedback. We love that. Anybody who tells you they don't like the side chat, Drury was probably very genuine with his, because he didn't care about building a channel going forward. He had lost his big channel, unfortunately, before. He had a great channel, and that cuts the gut out of you. So he didn't really care about that. But you know, Jordan, yeah, that's what I say, Lady T. If you put out negativity, you're going to get negativity in return. It's Newton's third law of motion. Yeah, I agree, Amanda. I don't know if the side chat makes the whole hangout, but if you think you're going to start dismantling the side chat and have it your way, as a very famous hamburger purveyor says, you're not going to have it your way. These guys, these guys have ammunition boxes full of names they're going to wheel out, and and be very clear too. There's people like Tiny Elvis, and you're not gonna delete them off the side chat. I mean, they're gonna keep posting there because they have the way to do it. So, yeah, you definitely need a side chat. So definitely good to see Davey in the house tonight. We got Van Vibes here. Very nice to see you. Yeah, well, yeah, side chat's real. It's good people, and it doesn't matter to me if you don't want to go on cam. It doesn't make you anything else. Right. Well, I'll tell you, he's given some amazing laughs and things like that. Honestly, we're being honest tonight. There's been content I enjoyed, but just to understand it comes at a price, and I can't change it anymore. I can't. There's nothing I could ever do. It's just dumb and naive on my part to expect to do that. Yeah, got accused of hiding behind a computer. All my videos have me in it. Yeah, I don't care if people don't. What do I care if somebody puts up content or not? YouTube is, remember, if we put up content, there's got to be somebody to watch it, right? There's probably 100 accounts that don't have content for every one that has content. Hey, Amanda C. Hang in there. Friday is almost here. Good night, babe. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I liked it when Elvis did his cooking stuff too. The trolls were there, but they were just trolling just for fun, not to cause misery. How's the piercing? Hey, I'm on it. It's painful as hell to me. Somebody can check BTB. I don't know when his chat is firing up. So, yeah, I want to be clear that just to make that clear about some of those things. But yeah, just wanted, because there's so many people that are new on the channel that weren't around. So much of this stuff came in the last 5 months in particular, that people don't know the whole history of what we've been through. Yeah, I think so. Moon Maiden, being honest goes a long way, and being kind goes even further. If you care about your friends, you'll change things and make things better. Yeah, Lady T says, I noticed Elvis does have some positive content if he would stick with that. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it was something ironic. Yeah, a lot of people were stressed out watching me have that belly button piercing. Pookie, remember Pookie? Yeah, it's the philosopher Montaigne once said, we enjoy watching people in their misery, and that's what drama is born of. It's like a bad car wreck, or something happens to somebody that's a real neighborhood asshole. You hope it doesn't, but if it does, you kind of think, well, there's for every action there's that equal and opposite reaction. Oh boy, I don't know, Nicole. Nape piercing. I think I've had it with piercing. So yeah, Troy Reed, then Eric Jacobs, then Elvis. So can somebody just pop over and see what time? Blacktop Boondocker BTB live. If he's on. There's a Moon Maiden. No more ass shaving people for me. Fine, let's hang them. Yeah, it's not hard to bring people to a hangout if it's going to be something discussed about somebody else, and it's particularly easy to bring it if you're going to be haranguing people and doing that's no great trick. The great trick is to have a hangout and have people come on your panel, and then try to have 70, 80 people and engage everybody so everybody can talk and to respect each other. That's the thing. That's the thing. Well, I'll stay as long as you guys like. I think Blacktop Boondocker was, I don't want to take away from his thing. Hey, Jerry, nice to see you. Well, we can keep it going if you want, you know, just a side chat. Well, I'll keep going if you guys want to. I'm glad to have you, here. And I hope that made sense. Yeah, I hope that made sense. Hi, Tess. Nice to see you. Okay, he doesn't have a scheduled hangout. I thought he did. So I'll keep this open. So, Marshall, just take it to heart. Listen to people. Hi, TR. Listen to people like Mr. X and people that care. The Dream Team. Not true, Tanya. Open what up, Ellie? Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. It's payday too, Ginger Elvis. Nice to see you. Thanks, Welder. We used to have a 74 GMC. There's a lot of playlists on my channel. If you go down, there's so much stuff. No, Van, Mr. X is not that kind of guy. Absolutely. You know, I mean, you can have people that are just fans that just enjoy. Remember, Mr. X met Marshall over a year ago. I mean, I was in Chicago in November. So he genuinely, hi, Roscoe, he genuinely enjoyed the content that Marshall did. This was pre- You know, when he was living in Chicago. Hi, Maxine. Yeah, that's what I said, Bodie. Yeah, it's not going to change. It's in the burn rate eclipsing. It's going to be a miserable ending if something doesn't change too. And if you think you're going to get more views with that, what you're getting is more trolls. No, you know, Dave, you don't have any basis for saying that. You've never seen Mr. X except just in passing on a video, and this is one thing that I don't like that is done on the other side of the aisle. People will draw an inference because you hang out with somebody that you're gay, and Mr. X is the furthest thing from that. He's a very wonderful man, and he has a family, and he was very gracious with his letting us use his place, the Winged Bull headquarters, to get the rig fixed up, borrowing his ladder, borrowing his tools, and all that. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. There's just no basis to that, Dave. You know, they could look at you or me as single people riding around in the van and think that we're on the make and stuff. I mean, it's like, the reality is, well, maybe so, Tiny. I mean, he was a great guy. He was very nice, and I was very happy to. Hey, TR, no, you don't have to be gay to be on these chats. I'm just trying to make a point of where we've all come from. Who's Rhodey? Rory? Well, I don't think so, Viv. Like I said, my doing this hangout was just to make Marshall understand why he has the problem he has today, not to try to change anything, because I don't think that that's going to change. I really don't. I don't. My expectations too low. I mean, I would turn it on Marshall and say I thought my friendship meant more than the bashing and all that. And, take the high road. Well, they say stuff about me. Well, it'll cut down if you stop saying stuff. So. Yeah, that's right, Bodie. But I'm not out to try to change behavior. Yeah, Dave, Zombie Shay is after you again. Is who a decent man? You have to judge for yourself. I've made multiple donations, you know, to I think out of the goodness of my heart to be supportive, to be a friend, but it always comes with the begging request that let's break this cycle of stuff that we're in right now. But it's a very apt named hangout. This is the third law of Newton's third law. Okay, BTB, I think you're going to go, you might want to just post your link up here. I'll go ahead and get over to your chat. So, and for those of you ask, a lot of people write me and ask, did you go on the, were you on the hangout with John? No, I didn't get an invite to that, probably because I'm perceived as being too close to the, source there. So honestly, I didn't, not that I felt slighted about it, but what am I going to say? If I was in a hangout, I said nothing's going to change. You know, when are you going to stand up for your friends and stuff? So see you later, Welder. Thanks for checking out. No, Ginger, I'm not asking him to change. I'm not asking him to change. I'm not. That's not the point. That's not the point. I'm not asking. I'm not expecting that. I just wanted Marshall to understand how we got to the point where we are today with the problems that he's having on the channel. No, John Tilleyman put up nice content today. Yeah, I did not like children coming under attack. Yeah. And if anybody, I'm not even sure who American Grenade is. I don't even know what that channel is. I could never find it. Hey, Walter White, nice to see you. I can just leave this caution. The last thing you want to do is feck around with the trolls on YouTube, because you're going to get your ass handed to you. And you better have money for lawyers and shit. So nice to see you too, Walter. Oh boy, go drop a deuce, huh? Yeah, I think that would be great, Nicole. I loved your Japanese presentation. I thought it was wonderful the way that you did that. I'm already missing Shay's videos. And hi, Shay, nice to see you. Hi, LMJ. Yeah, Bobby came over tonight for dinner. Sounds really good, Nicole. Well, I'm not paying for lawyers, Dr. J, that's for sure. So, but the money I spent myself was well spent on my own YouTube situation. So, yeah, that's exciting, Nicole. I enjoy seeing what you're doing there. That was great. You're really getting into the spirit of all that Japanesey stuff. So. Yeah, handsome Dave in the house. No, I just said you're Shay. You used to have a really vivid avatar, and now you have this very elegant. Uh, you have this very elegant scripted one there, and I'm like, girl, where's that hot orange that you used to have? I'm very proud of Shay too for pursuing her dream, and she's got a lot on her plate. She's got a hell of a lot on her plate down there, and I'm real happy about that. I'm happy about this house that you picked out. I mean, you took us on some real horror shows, I'll tell you. Some real horror shows. So some of those foundational problems, whoa. Mallory would comment on the viddies. I'd comment on the viddies. Yeah. All right, you guys, does anybody know if BTB's up live yet over there? I feel like he's in the green room. It's all warmed up for you. You know, your opening card here. Boy, I got a lot of sun working out on the rig. Yeah, Dave, 50 people at the button. Yeah, Walter, it's. I was going to have Jen sleep in the rig on Saturday. I'm going to have her inside Janet in the boss's house, her and Bobby. I'm going to be soloing in the rig myself. So I just don't want her subjected to that. I don't have any heaters set up or anything out there yet. So we might be down to the mid 40s on the weekend. So I am going down to Janet's. I'm not sure what time my hangout will be on Saturday night. I'll get it up when I can. Because I want to spend some time. I haven't seen the boss in a long time. I want to spend some time with them and get some content. I think we're going to be hitting a hot tub and having some fun times going out to dinner. So I really want to do that. Hey, Elvis is Backdoor Humper. Nice to see you. Thank you. Hope you like the top. My gypsy top. Just figures the end of summer. I'll get my last licks in here while it's still relatively warm. Yeah, Walter, hot tub time. I got lots of hot tub videos up there from visits with Janet and the boss before. Yeah, hump or something, huh? Hey, Ginger, no problem. Glad to have you. Your typing is fine. You're very sweet. I think you donated some money. So, Jordan, gypsies, tramps, and thieves. We'd hear it from the people of the town. They called us the tramps and thieves. But every night, all the men would come around and lay their money down. I just lost half the audience right there. Do we have some technical difficulties over there, Nicole? We might be running into. Okay, BTB, are you up yet? Are you running? I want to go over and if you want to post your link up here, so I get the people over there. So. He was on last Saturday night on my hangout, I think, for a little bit. Hi, MB. Sorry about that. Yeah, please post up the link here if you can. Oh no, Shay, you sing. I don't sing. Jesus. When we get down to Florida, I'm gonna put you up on that. Stage. Yeah, Booger. If I wear a red wig and pigtails, then people call me Little Debbie all the time and stuff. So. This is enough Marianne on Gilligan's Island, right? Gee, Skipper. Yes, and I've had Daisy Dukes while I'm planning. Nicole insists I don't wear them anymore because they're too air conditioned. Okay, well, there's. I'm going to go ahead and close it down. BTB is live over there. Thank you, Nicole, for posting that up there. Well, I'm going to go over to BTB live. So Nicole posted the link over there. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight for 1 hour, just so everybody had a roadmap of where we came from. So good to see you, TR. Thanks, everybody. Bye.